Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our Power Thinking, Rejuvenating Your Amazing Mind training for Wednesday. That is Wednesday, May the 13th of 2026, and this is our 9:30 Eastern Time edition. I'm your moderator, Stanley Green. We have a special edition of Power Thinking tonight because, as most times what we do is just help to reinforce those skills and strengths that make you resilient. But thanks to Gloria Hairston and Dean Cox, we have special guests with us. We'll conduct an interview to kind of go through some of their experiences. We have a young couple, William and Autumn, and they talk about resilience. They're the epitome of resilience. And we'd love for you to hear from them, and love for you if you have any comments, to share those comments with them, or have any questions. And I'm going to go through a series of questions. So we're excited that you're with us every week. Hope your week is going well. Your day went well today. And for those who are mothers, and certainly we all have mothers, so we all celebrated Mother's Day in one way or another. Doing something special for our mother if she's living. If you're a mother, being a mother and being honored. And those who, like myself, whose mom is not here anymore, just being thankful and grateful and remembering all the wonderful things. I just shared in another program that I was on for about 20 minutes before coming here about how they talk about resilience, how my mother had some serious challenges, had nervous breakdowns, and as a result of things that happened. And but I saw her be super, super resilient. Dean, are you kind of flashing in and out? You're back with us.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us. So what I'd like to do first, before we bring up William and Autumn, so that they can kind of give us a feel for how they were able to stay resilient through various experiences. I want to bring up the two folks that brought them to us and enabled us to have this great opportunity. So Gloria and Dean, we'll start with Gloria. How did you meet William and Autumn and feel that, really passionate about them being able to come on and speak to the group? And this group, we're talking 5 different platforms as well as our phone lines about their experiences bouncing back from adversity. So Gloria, let you and Dean, talk about what was it about this couple that you felt, we need others to learn from them.
Hi, Stan and Power Thinking family. So I actually met them indirectly through my best friend Dean. We were on our cruise, and she had gone to breakfast one morning, I think it was, and she came back to the room and she started telling me about this couple that she met that had this baby. She said, and Gloria, it couldn't have been any more than maybe 11 or 12 months old. And she said the baby was just like, and she was mimicking what she thought the baby was saying. And she said something about William as they were getting on well, I'll let her tell that. But anyway, so after that, then the next day or the next evening, we were at dinner, and I think maybe Dean had stepped away to get something, but his family was sitting behind our table, and they asked if that couple could come and sit with us, and it was William and Autumn and the baby. And I was like, yeah, sure, of course. And so when Dean walked over there, she was like, that's them. So and the only other thing I would like to say is that the more I just listen to them and witness their story, the more I realize that they got to share that with somebody. And Stan, I'm just so grateful that you were willing to to open up this platform for them to do that. So I'll turn it over to Dean.
Of course. And by the way, so Gloria, you've been with us at least 5 years, right? 5, 6
Oh
years
yeah.
with Power
Oh
Thinking. And
yeah.
Dean,
I love
very
Power
close to
Thinking.
that. And they travel the world together, and many times they're listening in on the program when they're somewhere around the world on a cruise. Let's bring
Absolutely.
up Dean. Dean, what if I bring Gloria down? Your
Yes.
thoughts?
Good evening. Yes, I'm Dean Cox. And yes, one morning I was going up to breakfast and I was walking up the steps and William and the baby was getting off the elevator and the baby started talking to me and he was like, well, I was going to say good morning, but he said it for me. But the baby was so happy. And, and like I said, when I went back downstairs, I said, Gloria, I said, I met this little baby. It was like the happiest little baby. And I didn't see him anymore until that following evening when they sit with us. But yeah, the baby was something else.
Right. And so you were both very enthusiastic about William and Autumn. I mean, I don't think I've ever had someone say, you have to talk to them. They need to share their story.
We
But
fell
I'd
in
like to
love.
see.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes. And I was very enthusiastic after listening to them as well. So I'm going to bring them up. William and Autumn, thank you so much for joining us tonight to share your story. So first, let's talk about the two of you. How long have you known each other? How long have you been married? And yeah, we'd love to hear that. And where are you from?
Well, we're New Yorkers, upstate New York. So like past Syracuse. Everybody knows Syracuse. Go SU. We've known each other since grade school. Long, maybe even before that. We just don't remember
Wow.
visiting each other. So our whole lives and back and forth through childhood memories and growing into relationships. We're here now, and we have two children. We're madly in love with wild animals and with a beautiful household and great adventures we take with each other.
Yeah, consistently together for 10 years now.
Yes, consistently 10 years now. Married for 9.
Right.
And we've been through a lot. It didn't come on to us until I feel like reached the total adulthood, so past 25, right? A lot of things actually hit us past 25. Between trying to own a home and losing people and the troubles we've come across. But yeah, it's definitely been a wild ride. Uh, and
Now,
that's
for some
that's
folks,
just
yeah, go ahead.
that's just like metaphorically speaking too. It's been a wild ride.
So when you say something like a wild ride, for some folks, they'll be, wow, they must have been married, about 30 years or so. You sound like a very older couple in terms of the language you use. So how old are you both?
I'm 28, and
I'm 27.
So
so
we're talking just 28 and 27.
we're still children. It
Yeah.
feels like
Right,
we could still be 20.
So I mean, how there shouldn't be any such thing as a 20 plus year old person having significant resilience such that you'd want to be sharing it with the world. So tell us about some of the things, some of the hurdles, the setbacks that you've had at such a young age, and what it's taught you.
I mean, buying a house was the biggest thing, and setting a hard stone for our child to have a home to go to school in, and having steady home. I mean, we apartment after apartment, you get used to a spot, and then you're just like, I don't like it anymore. But having a home is a big thing for a child's stability. So that was our main goal, and we got that right before our oldest went to school, and yeah, and then we found out some terrible news that we were going to lose our father eventually.
That was 22
That was
years ago.
2 years ago.
Just
So
about,
Mhm.
just
2
about
years ago.
reaching 2 years ago.
We lost him from cancer.
Yeah, special
Sorry to
case
hear
of
that.
non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Yeah.
The baby stuff.
And then after that, with the struggles with that, we decided to try to find a better push into our life and have another baby, because I mean, what's a house if you can't fill it, you know? So and we learned that we would go leaps and bounds to try to have another child because of the medical issues that we had to endure through that. Autumn had an ectopic pregnancy, and it was not what we expected to hear, but it was a major impact, especially being so viable, and life was sustainable, but just not in the right place. And then miscarriage after miscarriage, we just kept pushing on and saying, we're still young, we can push through this, we can definitely have another child, fill this house. And yeah, that was rough, but we pushed through on top of grieving. It doesn't take a month, a day, a week, even a year. It still hits us like a brick when we want to say something, and we can't say it, because there's no one there to talk back about it.
But then we successfully got pregnant and have
Lewis,
the Lewis, which
the little talking,
right.
babbling,
is going to be a
babbling
year.
crazy
Oh,
boy.
okay, that's cool.
It'll
Matt
be a
Lewis.
year
Okay.
next month.
So we
Wow.
found out that, and I felt like life was actually coming together, and little overcomings, like, I found spots in our house that, every homeowner doesn't want to hear, whether it's rod or electrical or plumbing. It just comes across you, and you just kind of take a deep breath and blow it out, because, the wind comes and goes, just like your breaths do, and you might not be there tomorrow. And
Your accident.
then as I'm working so hard to put into the household, every paycheck, I mean, it was a struggle, but I did it, and I overcame those obstacles, and just by breathing, just breathe it in, breathe it out, it'll be gone tomorrow.
Mhm.
And one day, breathing it in, breathing it out wasn't enough, and unfortunate circumstances, there was traffic and construction going on, and I was moving material for my construction company, and um, I happened to collide with the car in front of me that was making an abrupt turn quickly. And with the payload I had, it was not possible for me to stop as soon as I did, or as soon as I tried to. And I ended up going through 5 surgeries to be able to keep my foot and my leg intact. I had a compound fracture, blown out nerves, major artery, and grafting. So they had to take part of my leg and patch up my ankle so that I could, go on with what I had.
And that was actually 1 year ago yesterday.
1 year ago yesterday at 12:47 p.m.
Wow.
So we are
Wow.
1 year.
We are 1 year out, and so I pushed through that with all the. I mean, obviously at the point in time, I'm making jokes of it. It's okay, like, you're gonna pull through this, but then you don't think about the stuff that comes on later on. But as we'll follow into that, I leave the hospital, and 2 weeks and 3 days later, Lewis was born. 7 pounds, 6 ounces, beautiful
Wow.
baby boy.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more happier to have that happen after everything. And I take a deep breath and I breathe it out, because
He was still in a wheelchair when
yeah,
I was having
and
the
a
baby.
cast
In a
five
wheelchair.
And let me
pins
do
in my
this.
foot.
Yeah, while you're talking, I'm gonna bring you back down, and I have a couple of those
Memory
pictures
lane.
because I'd like to show folks what was going on. And thank you for submitting those pictures. And well, that's you in the wheelchair there.
Yep, that's him. Me
But-
and the baby for the first time.
But applause or no applause, I mean, nobody needs to know. But I mean, I popped an extra morphine. I stood every second she pushed, just to make sure that I was there, and I felt whole.
Mm.
Uh,
Mhm.
it was a lot. There was a lot to endure, but we got through it, and that
Lots
was
of pain
yeah.
on both ends.
yeah, on both ends. They kept asking me, "What did you do?" I said, "It doesn't matter. She's this is the baby we're talking about." So
Right.
it was definitely
Yeah.
definitely a comical / serious situation that we tried to make of it. So it
Right.
definitely worked out, and in the end. So
That's
that was the
to,
first two, and that's my oldest. You know,
First time our oldest got to see him after the accident.
6 days later.
After a couple of the surgeries.
That's a couple of surgeries. That was a lot of drugs later. there was
right.
some very, very questionable photos taken before that photo until she said, "This is a good one." And I said, "Okay."
He just got out of surgery. Finally got to eat after a
Wow.
couple days.
Oh my
He didn't want to
goodness.
eat for a few days.
Look at that smile. Who smiled at
I'm
29
fake.
years old, 28 years old?
I'm faking it,
After
Gloria.
surgery.
That was all for the camera. Smile for the camera.
Happy to have his foot.
Happy to have my foot. Well, I didn't learn any of the news until probably the 6th day after, I got some truthful answers about what could have happened, and it was a slight shock, but at the same time, whatever. I got my foot right, and they said, "Yeah, it's there."
Right. So you're grateful, right? There's that gratitude.
Very
right?
grateful.
So
Honestly, I mean,
so obviously,
It was bad, but it could have been worse.
yeah.
yep, you put it in perspective. So as you talk, I talk about the skills that we share with folks. So there was that putting things in perspective, right? It could have been worse. You're grateful that you had your foot. As you can see, folks, it's the right foot. Now this may be a little graphic. I'm sounding like some of the news people. So if you have to turn away, do that. But we'll show. I mean, just what William went through here, and you'll see, the ankle. You can kind of talk about exactly what happened there.
That was
So
right
what was
after
it?
they.
You were
Nurse talk.
So that was right after they they did a reduction.
Yeah.
So they placed his bone back into place.
Out of dislocation
There
and
wasn't any
fracture.
surgeries yet. This picture was taken in the emergency room. So they put him under briefly, hurried up and put the bone in so it wasn't exposed. They wrapped it back up and then rushed him to emergency orthopedic surgery so they could then take the back of his calf and place the back of his calf over that open wound right there because there was an artery that was ripped that was making him have a lot of blood loss.
Wow.
It's a little gory, but
yeah. So I'm going to bring that. We're going to take out we saw all the pictures. I'm going to remove them. We have someone on the line who'd like to, either ask a question or make a comment. So let's go to Bill Peterson. Bill, thank you for joining us. Bill's been with us at least 5-6 years now. Mention where you're joining us from and your thoughts that you'd like to share with William and Autumn. Welcome.
Well, good evening, Stan and Power Thinking family and the guests. I apologize because I'm stumbling here with my computer and my cell phone. I still have no video, but I was trying to listen to the fantastic story of the two people that are speaking. And I just think that's outstanding. And you talk about resiliency. I mean, that certainly is a picture of what you talk about and what you've been teaching all of us in Power Thinking. And I just applaud them and give them God's grace and mercy to be with them for all their lives and keep on doing what you're doing and encouraging folks like ourselves to know that we too can survive. So keep on keeping on, and thank you so very much for being who you are.
yes, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Bill.
for
Really
listening.
appreciate it. Yes. So, and we all go through things, but to for you in just a short period of time, we're talking about just a couple of years having these setbacks. And one of the things I heard you say after each of those setbacks was, okay, breathe in, breathe out.
Yep.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Just got to recenter yourself.
Just kind of reset.
And tell yourself, like, okay, what's the next step? How do we get through this? And what are we going to do?
I mean, there was definitely
keep pushing forward.
Definitely some moments we broke. I mean, we panicked at each other. I mean, we definitely, I mean, not at each other's throats, but at the point of just panic, just what is going to happen. And
we always
whether it's,
our kids are healthy, our kids are happy, we always focus it back to them and we do everything. We have to keep pushing forward for them.
or as I've always done. I mean, whether when it came from the start of life, I mean, as soon as I knew I was going to be a father, I tightened my boots a little tighter every morning, and I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Now we all will figure it out. I mean, at this point, together, you feel that in your heart. You know, you're gonna figure it out together as a family. And as we still do today, there's been struggles and issues. I mean, I'm limited at with my disabilities and with what I receive, and I tell her all the time, you know what? Just take a deep breath. Tomorrow's got possibly has the tools that we need to figure it out and fix this. So
Right,
we'll
like
get through.
on vacation, he couldn't go swimming on the cruise.
Depressing,
And
very much so. I mean,
he can't walk in sand, and it's depressing, and it's sad. And
but I looked at the brighter picture of my family's enjoying themselves, and I can sit here and people watch a little bit, but at the same time, it clicks back and forth to, I wish I could just do what I want to do, honestly. And as anybody would want to do, you want your full free will at hand, and sometimes it may be taken from you, and you can look at it this way: would you trade the issues you have with anybody else at random? Would you draw on a hat for the issue you may have that you think is this big, could be this big compared to someone else?
Oh,
And we move through that. You know, like I look at her, I'm like, it could be worse.
I would never put my problem. One at random.
I could be brain dead. I mean, as the officer said when they didn't have to extract me from the car because I had self-extracted, I pried myself out of that vehicle. They asked repetitively, where's the gentleman that was in this car? And they said, he's already out. He's in the ambulance. And they come to talk to me, and he said, how fast? And I said, definitely under the speed limit. And he said, I can tell because we would have been pulling you out in a body bag or brain dead. Yeah, my first question, as soon as I fell to the ground and knew I could not get up, I said, how are they? Are they okay? Are they okay? And repetitively, the pastor that was consoling me at the time because I couldn't move, I was on the ground face down. Beautiful sunny day, enjoying the first of spring in New York because we really get hammered here with the snow.
Yeah, the accident was right in front of a church.
Right in front of a church. The pastor came running out, and she says, they're fine. They're outside of their vehicle. They are sitting on the bumper. I said, there's no way there's a bumper left. But but by God's mercy, I mean, I'm okay and they're okay, you know, and
great. Well, I'm going to do this, William and Autumn. I'm going to go briefly over those inner strengths and skills. And I want folks to think about what you said and think about the strengths that were related here or related and the skills that you relied upon. So, and these were developed by psychologists. So there are 7 strengths that resilient people have at a high level. The first, and think about this, is emotion regulation, the ability to stay calm under pressure. The second is impulse control, the ability not to say or do the first thing that comes to mind. Next is empathy, the ability to understand another person's experiences and emotions. How are they doing? You know, the focus was on the other folks. Are they okay? That was that empathy, the self-efficacy, the belief that you have control over your ability to succeed. No matter what the setback, we're going to get through this. We're going to make it. And so as you were talking, these things came out. The optimism, the view that all things ultimately are going to have a successful outcome. Causal analysis, systematic way of getting to the root cause of a situation or problem. And then the last of these strengths is reaching out. And that is connecting with others and taking action when faced with setbacks and challenges, as opposed to just isolating yourself. And so what are the skills that help you get there? We have the skill of ABC, and we won't get all into that. But then there's avoiding thinking traps. Our brains are processing 50,000 thoughts a day. 70 to 80% of those thoughts are typically negative, and you have to battle with those negative thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So all day we catch ourselves thinking that kind of stuff, and all day.
Yeah. So there's jumping to conclusions without evidence. You know, we're not going to make it. Well, you don't have any evidence that you're not going to make it. You have to, right? Talk yourself out of that. It's personalizing. Where you beat yourself up too much. Oh, what did I do? How did this happen? There's externalizing, where you're blaming others. There's minimizing. And I heard this a lot, but you didn't fall into this thinking trap where you minimize the positive stuff that goes on and that's happening in life, but you magnify the negative. And that's how folks can fall into deep depression. You did the opposite. You kept going back to the positives, the positives. I noticed negative things happening. It's happened, but there are positive things as well that's happening. Mind reading, when you think you know what the other person's thinking, there's overgeneralizing, there's tunnel vision, and emotional reasoning. Then there's detecting another skill, which is an awareness skill. Being aware of what's going on with you is detecting these deep-rooted beliefs that could be impairing your thinking. Number 4 is the action skill, challenging the beliefs. If there are beliefs that are counterproductive, you push back on them, challenge them, move forward. And some of the things that you talked about, putting it in perspective. And we tell folks, getting up in the morning, talk about and write down the things that you're grateful for. So you are always focused on, what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. Even though, you can't make the kind of money right now that you used to make, but there are other things that you're grateful for. And we heard that with you. And there's the big one, this number 6 of the 7 skills, calming and focusing. And you said it a number of times. Okay, breathe in, breathe out. And unfortunately, when most people are faced with adversity, they don't go to that automatic go-to. Just take the deep breaths. Folks, we know how to do it, but we just don't think of it. You are very conscious of that when you're starting to get really stressed. All right, breathe in, breathe out. And doesn't it change, how you're feeling about things when you do that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It recenters yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes I walk away, like mentally in my mind. You got to walk away. I mean, that breath may take you 1,000,000 miles away from where you are, and be like, wow, it could take you back to the Bahamas.
But it helps you
Right.
But it can help you think
and
straight.
make a plan to push
Even if
through.
it isn't straight, even if it takes you for a deep breath down a slip and slide and a swirl, but as long as it takes you away from the point and pressure that you're at right now, just remember, life could be so much worse. You couldn't remember, like you said, when you wake up in the morning, write the stuff down. But you did wake up and write the stuff down, right? So
there you go.
that's
Well,
the
great.
biggest thing about it.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to bring you back down there, and we'll see Gloria and Dean again. And as we wrap up, because this went fast. I told you, we only have like a minute left.
It did go very fast.
We're already here. We have plenty more to say. I mean, there's so much more that happened.
We can tell you
But
20 more things.
Like again, it happened, and you find a way. Just find a way, honestly, because the tools may not be there in this moment, but they might be there in a small little box that you got to look for tomorrow.
Yeah,
your happiness is worth it.
Honestly,
yes.
and others' happiness, seeing that you're around, and that you're motivated, self-motivated. Honestly.
Well, we got to get you into the Power Thinking family. You got to try our app. We got a free trial, and we'd love to get you a part of our group here, because you can help, a lot of folks on an ongoing basis. Maybe some of the push notifications that we send out via the app will have the William and Autumn quote of the day, and to folks. So Gloria, Dean, starting with Gloria, any closing thoughts?
No, only thing I'd say, I'm sorry. Yeah. Only thing I'd say is that, I'm so grateful that we had a chance to meet you all. You all are part of our family, and we love you. Thanks.
Great. Dean.
Yes, same for me. I'm so grateful for Lou Lewis, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. So when you get up, go give him a kiss from me. When you get up, go give him a kiss from me, because it's because of him that we are here tonight.
Yeah, he definitely needs a kiss right now. He is awake, and
woke up.
he is ripping. He's vocalizing his love for us right now, as we say.
I know.
His need for us.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to close out with our folks on the phone line: Eric Olson, Sharon Smalls, Carla Hill, Claudia Nesmith, a wireless caller, George Clark. We just talked today. George, Layla Llewellyn, Bill Peterson, Janice Costo. We had Calvin Patterson. Thank you all for being with us this evening. Make it a fantastic remainder of the week. Take care, everybody. And remember, since we spend all of our time thinking, we must think with power and utilize power thinking. Take care. And of course, across our platforms, William and Autumn, you were awesome.
Thank you.
And this tells me, Gloria, Dean, thank you so much, because what it says to me is we need to do more of that, where we have people sharing their experiences, and we can then kind of go through some of the things that we already talk about, and you see it in them, that they've lived it and they've used it without even knowing, that what they were, but it was just somehow natural for them. And so again, William, Autumn, appreciate you. Lewis out there, we appreciate you. We're going to give your parents back to you. Take care, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see
You know what, Stan, can I say one thing? What you
Sure.
just said is the same thing that Gloria said to me. She said they have no idea how resilient they are. None. I mean, because we sit up and we talk about them. She's like, they have no idea. And, I'm so proud of you guys and I love you guys. Hopefully one day me and Gloria can make our way up there to visit you guys. So you guys take care. Give those babies the hugs and kisses from us and let them know that their new aunties love them.
Oh, we will.
Absolutely.
All right. Good
All
Take care,
night.
everybody.
Have a good
Take
night.
care. Thank
Thanks.
you.
Appreciate you
Bye-bye.
all. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Okay, click that.